All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Laura Canfield Show, the Awaken to Happiness Now Global Series. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And my good friend Karen Kay is back. It's been a while. We were just talking about how it's been like she was here in 2018, now 2021. So I think that's almost 3 years. And so she's back with us, and we're going to be talking about connecting with mermaids, guardians of the sea. We're going to discover the secrets of connecting with the merfolk. We're going to experience what it's like being a mermaid during a guided meditation that we're going to do. We're going to find out how mermaids can help with emotions. We're going to learn mermaid protection techniques that we can use in our everyday life. And we're going to get a glimpse into Karen's messages from the Mermaid's Oracle deck that she just created recently, which is through Hay House. So exciting. So all that and more. And for those of you who don't know Karen, like I said, she was on with us back in 2018, but it's been a while. And she is a fairy and mermaid whisperer. She's a best-selling Hay House author with 2 Oracle decks, Oracle of the Fairies and Messages from the Mermaids. And she is a former BBC News editor, and she shares her love for the elemental realms through her work. And she connects to the elemental realms, bringing through ancient wisdom from fairies, mermaids, and unicorns into the human realm. So please join me in welcoming Karen back to the show. So Karen, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. It's so lovely to be here again. It feels like only yesterday, actually, Alara, even though it's been nearly 3 years.
I think it's 2.5, right? Because I think you were here in December or something of 2018. So yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. So no, it's really, really lovely to join you, and it's always a joy to talk about my passion and the things that bring me joy, which is mermaids and fairies, of course, all the elementals, and just life, a love of life, a gratitude for life. And I am hot off the heels from an immersive workshop that lasted 4 days, and it was in American time, so I was up till 4 or 5 in the morning, continually doing 15-hour days.
Wow.
Great. I feel amazing. It's a really, really good time. So I'm kind of all fired up off of that as well. And usually, I'll let you into a little secret, usually before I do my shows and my talks, I'm very still and I meditate and I'll smudge and I'll ring a bell. Well, today I was dancing to rave music.
Wow, whatever it takes, right? Whatever it takes.
Yeah, just a completely different kind of energy. So yeah, but I still feel calm inside, but it was just, I wanted to get that feeling, so it was really fun. Yeah. So
awesome.
are you going to ask me questions, or am I going to just
Well, I love that. Well, let's just talk a little bit about, I want to talk a little bit about the mermaids. Like for most people, or I guess most people in the mainstream, when they think of mermaids, we always think of them being as not nice. If we look at movies, and everything, mermaids don't seem very nice, right?
They're not portrayed in the best of ways.
Yeah. And
it's I will occasionally refer back to fairies, because it does kind of come in with them as well. They've got a bad PR, a bad press. And especially with mermaids, because they're said to lure men or people down into the sea. But how about kind of turning that completely around and saying that if a sailor falls overboard and he's kind of drowning basically, and then a mermaid comes and sings to him to make his last moments joyful.
Yeah.
So there's always a twist, that there's always another perspective. And I come from a media background, so I know how the media always likes to make things dramatic as possible. But maybe it's not like that, maybe obviously with all types of beings, you have ones that are nice and ones that are not so nice. That just figures, because they're within our earthly realms, so they will have some type of ego. It might not be exactly the same of ours, but it will be there, and that means they'll all have their unique quirks, if you like. So you'll get some mermaids that might be a bit playful, but also it's they're guardians of the ocean. So if they see something going down in the ocean that isn't good, then they'll probably do something about it.
Awesome, good. And so, you know, for us, you know, like I'm landlocked, so I have no ocean near me, right? I don't even have a river or anything like that. How can I connect to and work with the mermaids? Because I mean, I definitely have mermaid energy. I also have fairy energy. I also have like all sorts of energies, right? But
Yeah.
how can I work with them, and why would I want to?
Well, I've been working with the mermaids over 30 years, let's say that. I don't know exactly the amount of time, but my connection with them started when I moved to Cornwall from London. I was born in London. I lived in London until I was 20, and then I moved to Cornwall, and it's surrounded by the ocean. You know, it's the sea, and it's a different type of energy. And that's when they first connected with me by inspiring me to draw. And I was drawing mermaids just for probably about a month solid. Now, that might not sound unusual, but I'm not an artist. My capacity of painting or drawing is kind of matchstick people or big blobs of abstract art. But I was drawing, you know, real mermaids with scales, and they were all like warriors with tridents and male mermen and mermaids. It was just this whole kind of kingdom. And that was my first awareness of them, really. And then it just grew over the years. And the strongest energy that came through was about 2 years ago, when I was going through a particularly challenging time emotionally. And because mermaids are of the sea, they're guardians of the sea, they flow, they're very energy, emotion, so that it's all there for them. So they really connected with me, and that is at the time when I wrote my messages from the Mermaids deck during this really challenging time. And it literally just flowed through me. I went to the beach pretty much daily. I've got a beautiful beach locally. I'm very, very blessed, I know that. And I just used to go there and connect with their energy, and it would just come in, and it's so uplifting and soothing and calming. And the messages that I was getting, a lot of it on a personal level, was to whatever I was feeling, to allow it to flow and not suppress it. Because when we hold on to our emotions, it can build up and manifest as different kind of ailments or dis-ease within us. So I made the decision that I was just gonna let everything flow, and that was with the help of the mermaid energy, definitely. And I've completely forgotten what you asked me. Just been flowing off down the river. I do this.
I don't even know either. Like, you know, I think I asked, why would we want to connect with the mermaids?
Yeah, well, I think initially, if you feel curious, if you care about our planet, which I'd say most people do, if you care about the oceans, which form a big part of our planet as well, then that is an initial reason. And they are spirits of the sea, they're guardians of the ocean, the same way that fairies are guardians of the land, mermaids are guardians of the ocean. So that would be a possible reason, just because when you go to the sea, most people go on holiday to the sea because it makes them feel calm.
Yeah.
That's where they go. Most people go for a holiday. Now, why is that? Now, you can say scientifically, well, it's because of the negative ions and the fresh air and everything, but also that is the domain of the mermaids. So that would be another reason to connect in with them. If you want to go into your heart more, into your feelings, really get in touch with your feelings, that would be another reason to connect with the mermaids also.
Absolutely. And, you know, especially if you would like some, I guess I would say, more ease with your emotions and have your emotions flow more, you know, instead of getting them stuck in your body and so on. And I'm a very emotional person. I like to say I'm passionate, but you know, I'm very emotional. I've gotten better at controlling my emotions, but you know, there was I'm, you know, yeah, very emotional person in many different ways, right? But the thing is, a lot of times we get caught up in the emotions, you know, and then we get stuck in the story, and then that stays in our cells, in our energy field, in our body, and then that's like not good. So
Yeah.
you know, the mermaids and being in the ocean or by the ocean, by the river, can help you to really connect and let go of those emotions so that they flow more smoothly out of your field, because they're not meant to be stuck in you, right?
Yeah. And again, like I said, emotions are energy in motion, so it's energy that wants to move through, and sometimes it can feel overwhelming. We've all had that at one point or several points in our lives where the emotions are just so intense. And what the mermaids have taught me is that it's if anybody's, I know not everybody's had babies, but when you give birth, you have contractions, which are similar to the waves of the sea. So it's like everything that comes in always goes back again. And it's the same with emotions. And even though it can feel super intense, it will subside. It will not stay like that forever, even though it feels like this is it forever. And when you surrender to it, which is to surrender to these emotions. And obviously, if they're really negative and destructive, then you do have to, you know, keep check of it, because you can't spill that out onto other people. But your internal emotions, how you express them, is something that can be really overwhelming. So it is about allowing it to flow and release it, and you'll find that you'll come back to a more peaceful space, definitely.
So Kimberly saying in the chat, she said, I was told I have strong mermaid codes. What does that even mean?
Mermaid
codes.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't even looking at the messages. I was just looking at everything.
That's okay. Yeah.
Codes. Well, I feel like the codes would be similar to there's like light codes, isn't there? And that could be what that is. I work very intuitively, so I don't kind of have labels for everything. So I could be working with codes and not know that I'm working with codes. So I think if you feel that mermaid calling within your heart, or a pull to the ocean, then that could be what that is. It's something within you that maybe you can explore. We can all explore it. We don't have to even believe in mermaids, although it would be nice for them if we did, because it helps them energetically to do the job that they need to do, which is be guardians of the oceans. That's their first and foremost job. But also a perk of that as humans is that when we can connect with them, they can help us to transform and heal on an emotional level as well, and bring that peace.
Yeah, awesome, good. And Letty's asking, which is kind of what you answered right now, but how do you know if you have fairy or mermaid energy, right? And it is, you know, around the same thing. It's like, do you resonate with them? Are you attracted to them? You know, is there something about them that you find interesting? You know, that's usually how it works. And then of course somebody might tell you in a reading.
Yeah, that can come up as well. I mean, I'm remembering having readings years and years and years ago, and people telling me that there were fairies and mermaids around me, and I was like, oh, that's really sweet, you know. And I had no idea that I would be like doing what I'm doing now. It's just really unfolded. It's been a really lovely journey. So with mermaids especially, it is a feeling. It is a feeling. I mean, you're here either because you love Alara, which I am sure everybody does, and want to hear everything that she does, and also a little bit of a curiosity about, well, what is mermaids? Aren't they are they real? Or that, you know, so you might be here for that reason as well, and that's fine, because I'm not here to convince anybody or say you must believe in them, because it's a very personal experiential thing, actually. And I only speak from my own experience, and I share that, and if it resonates, then take it, and if it doesn't, don't. So I'm not attached to making everybody mermaid believers or anything, but I have had a great benefit from working with them, and that's what I want to share.
And that's, you know, and that's the thing. It's like a lot of times this has nothing to do with belief, but it's about a knowing in your heart. Like, you know, in your heart, do you feel, you know, do you have this knowing that yes, mermaids exist, yes, fairies exist, yes, dragons exist, that unicorns exist? If you have, you know, that type of knowing, then you know it's possible, it's true, even if you have never maybe like spoken to or connected with them. But if you know, have that knowing of, yeah, it's possible, sure, and I've experienced this or I've seen this or whatever, then why not, right?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, it's about opening up our hearts to more, right? To other different possibilities, right? Not the mainstream, you know. I mean, mermaids are not just, you know, Disney characters, right?
No, they're not at all. And that is how a lot of people have encountered mermaids, is through Disney and the movies, and some through old folklore and things like that.
Right.
And the reality is always different from how it's perceived as well. And it is a relative thing. It's how you perceive them personally, and they'll present to you in a way that you can accept them, because they don't want to scare us off. They need us as allies, because they're energetic beings, and they have manifested in physical ways, because there's been many sightings over the years, but basically they're energetic, and so they can't do the physical things that humanity can do. So they want us to really care about the oceans, and, you know, just love the oceans as much as they do.
Absolutely. And so Kimberly's asking, for those of us that are connected to the ocean and mermaids, can we use that somehow, can we work with them somehow to manifest in a more intense way?
In a more intense way,
or I would like to say, you know, sometimes people just want to manifest, you know, so can we work with the mermaids?
Yes.
I mean, I know we can with the fairies, but with the mermaids as well.
Yes, yeah, and we can do a little mermaid manifestation if you like. That's something that they're fun to manifest with. We can do that whenever you like.
Awesome. So like people in the chat are writing about how they're drawn to fairies, or they're drawn to mermaids or dragons, fairies and dragons, mermaids and fairies, all that kind of stuff. This is great, right? Are mermaids a part of the elemental realm like fairies and dragons?
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly, I was just going to say that usually if you're a kind of attracted to one type of being, then the others are all there anyway, and it's just what mood or space you're in as to which you resonate with. I've always got like a whole host of like mermaids, fairies, dragons, unicorns, angels, starbeat, like they're all here. It's party all the time. So
yeah, exactly. It's just another support person or another support being, you know, for you to work with. Absolutely. Linda, you've had your hand raised for a long time. Did you have a question?
Oh, sure. So hi.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
And you. Lovely to meet you.
Thank you. So what method do you use then to connect with them? I write poetry, so I've got one on about dragons and kings and stuff. So,
oh, nice. Well, I'm related. One of my ancestors is Walter Delamere, who is a poet you may or may not have heard of. It certainly here in England or the UK. I don't know what you're supposed to say now, like what's PT.
I don't know.
Where I live on this island, he's very well known. He was a poet laureate, and my uncle used to spend time with him. He passed away before I was born, but he used to write about fairies and mermaids. And I feel that his presence, I feel like he's a guide for me sometimes, and he comes through. And I've, you know what, I've forgotten the question again. It's because you said poetry and I went off on my little tangent, which
Yeah,
is
I don't know why she said poetry. It's like, what does that have to do with, I don't know, is that how you connect with your guides, Linda?
I don't know that answer, Alara. I can't give you an answer. I don't know that one.
Okay, so then I don't know why you brought up the poetry. That's interesting.
Well, the thing is, it triggered me to say that I'm related to Walter Delamere, who, I mean,
Yeah.
Delamere means of the sea, and that is my mother's maiden name. So I took my father's name on, which is Kay, but my mum's maiden name is Delamere, which is of the sea, which makes total sense. And Walter Delamere, wrote about the mermaids, and his visions, I mean, you could Google and find him on the internet very easily, some of his poetry, and it really is quite, it's like he knows something, and I feel his energies come through here.
Nice. Yeah.
But
Nice.
what was your question? Sorry.
How do you connect to them? How do you yourself establish the connection to get there?
Yeah, well, usually it happens through a meditation. I go into a meditative space, and also it can happen quite easily when you're bathing, so in the bath. And I have something I call Mermaid Bath, and sometimes I have fairy baths, but the bath really lends itself, especially if you're not near the ocean, if you don't have access to the ocean, which many people don't, but you can still connect with the ocean energy very easily. Because when our mind is so amazing, our imagination, so we've got the ability to dream ourselves into any situation or environment. So you can very easily, if you know, either in the bath or in the shower, but the bath is better because you can just relax and you put salt in, ideally sea salt, and then you're creating an ocean vibe as well, and put little, if you've got shells or mermaid statues or candles, green and blue candles, things that conjure up the feeling of the ocean, and then that will put you in that space. And I've done spontaneous meditations in the bath, actually, where I'm just, my eyes are closed, and then I can just feel I've got a tail, and it's like, oh, I've got a tail in the bath, and it's a really nice feeling, and that will help you as well to connect in with their energy.
Well, thank you.
That's okay.
Awesome. Good. Thank you, Linda. And the thing is, you know, that is definitely, you know, a great way to do it in meditation. But you can also just, you know, imagine yourself in the ocean, walking in the ocean with them, and call on them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. There's so many different ways there are. Yeah.
And start to have a relationship with them, start talking to them, and start inviting them into your life, into your energy, into your meditations, and then see what happens. Right? So it doesn't have to be complicated. People get out of your head. you know about this. Get out of your head, get into your heart. If you want to connect with them, it can be easy, okay? But you have to have the intention, and then, you know, try it, play with it, and see how it makes you feel.
Yeah, it is from the heart, as pretty much everything is, really. It's just going to flow far easier, and I'm a great believer in simplicity as well. We can make things very grand, and sometimes we need those external kind of paraphernalia to put us into a space, but really we don't need anything except ourselves to do that. But everybody's different, and sometimes we need these visual triggers to help to put us in a space, and it can be something very simple. Yeah, it's just popped into my head. So I went to the beach yesterday. I go a lot, but the last 3 times that I've been to the beach, I found heart-shaped stones on the beach.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's so lovely. Yeah, really, really lovely. That's 3 times now in a row.
I love to pick up stones and shells when I go to the beach. I just love it. You know, it's like, it's so much fun to see what you're going to find, you know?
Yeah, it's really nice. And when I send out my mermaid oracle deck to people, I put a little bag in with little things from my local beach and a little sprinkle of local sand. I've got my little gnome mermaid here, and she's got a little shell with sand from my local beach. It's so funny, all of my pockets are always full of sand, you know, like children come home with sticks and stones and dirt, and I come back with handfuls of sand, and it's all in my car, it's everywhere.
Yeah, and sand is something that you'll find forever, right? Once it gets in the house, you'll find little, you know, a little bit everywhere, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So it's part of the ocean wanting to come home with you, right?
Yeah, and also me wanting to have that in close proximity, because I'll sprinkle that in my bath as well. So then it makes me feel more mermaidy as well.
Nice.
Can you see that my hair's like greeny?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you might have thought the light's a bit funny.
No, I figured that's what it was, you know. It's like that aqua green, seafoam green color. Yeah, it's nice.
It's called aquamarine, the color, and I don't know what's going on around the world, but in the UK at the moment we're still in lockdown.
Yeah, here too.
Just means I get creative, like, and think, oh, why not? You know, nobody's going to see me anyway. And then I go on. But I like it. It feels quite natural to me. It doesn't feel unnatural.
Yeah, exactly. So do what works for you, right? What makes you feel good. And if it helps you to connect with the mermaids, then why not, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. It kind of expresses my inner mer connection. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, awesome. I love it. So I want to talk also a little bit about some mermaid protection techniques. I think that's really key and important right now.
Yeah. Well, there are so many different ones that we can do, and again, it's a visual thing. So I think a simple clam shell protection would be nice, because most people know what clam shells are. We can envisage that, and if we want to feel like, you know, if we're feeling vulnerable or exposed or just want that little bit of extra protection, then we can visualize ourselves inside a clamshell, a human-sized clamshell, one that's going to fit us comfortably. And inside the clamshell will be a pearl of wisdom in there. And we can just visualize the clam coming slowly down. But this clamshell is controlled by our intention. So if we want it to open, it will open. We're not going to be trapped in a clamshell, but we'll be in there in that space if we need a lot of solid protection. It's quite a nice one. It's very easy to visualize. Most people know what a clamshell looks like.
Yeah.
And then while we're in there, we can absorb the wisdom from the pearl of wisdom that is within the clamshell too. It's a very simple technique that is effective. It does have an effect.
Beautiful. I love it. So I just wanted to tell you about the comment in the chat. Tara says, my 3-year-old grandson took a look at you and said you have a mermaid tail.
Oh, he's clever, isn't he?
Children know.
They do. I've got an etheric mermaid tail, definitely.
Yeah, I just thought that was so cute. It's like, oh my goodness, wow. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so go ahead.
What was I saying? I've lost track now.
Sorry, we were talking about protection techniques.
Yeah, so that clamshell one is a really good one to do. There are there's good grounding techniques as well that you can do with mermaid energy as well. And one of those is to visualize a ship's anchor. And as these anchors are huge, you know, on the big ships, and you visualize yourself on the ship and then sitting on the anchor, and as the anchor goes down, You can breathe easily and effortlessly under the water, because we're all, as I said earlier, we all started off our lives in that way, in the fluid, in the water, breathing in like that. So it is something that will just happen naturally, even in your mind. If you're worrying while you're visualizing, oh, what, I can't go underwater, but you can, you have actually in reality, and you certainly can within your imagination when you're visualizing.
Yeah.
So that's a really nice one. And then the anchor just goes down, down, down into the seabed, and then it embeds in there, and then you are fully grounded. Like, it's a really great way to ground yourself. And then when you're ready, then you just visualize the anchor being hauled up, or whatever, that piped up, whatever they call it.
Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah, that's a good one. I've never heard of that one before. Yeah.
Yeah, and these are ones that all were just given to me. I was inspired by the mermaids with these ones, and they just put these little gems in as well. So it's really nice. And there's a few more. I can't remember what they all are, but they're in my little guidebook, in my Mermaid Oracle deck. I've written some protection techniques and different ways that you can connect with the mermaids in there as well.
Awesome. So Jenna is asking, can you please explain the difference between Lemurian mermaids and Atlantean mermaids, if you know?
Well, not really. No, I can't. And well, the only way, what I would say, because the one thing that if I don't know something, I'll say I don't know. Like, I won't just make something up if I don't feel it and know it, from my heart and my own experience. But what I will say is that the difference, I feel, would be the same as if somebody from America and somebody from the UK, that type of difference. It's just a different kind of location, and perhaps the knowledge would be different. The Atlantean knowledge would be different from the Lemurian knowledge, but ultimately, if they're mermaids, then they're kin, they are family, and at their heart, at their essence, will be the same energy. It's just that their knowledge base will be different, and perhaps they'll physically look different. If they manifest in a physical way, then there will probably be differences in that respect too. Yeah, absolutely. I can see that. And there were different time periods, completely different time periods, so of course they're going to be, their energies are going to be different too, for sure. But yeah, great question, Jenna. Thank you. Yeah. So I know we're going to do a meditation to connect with the mermaids, and maybe do a little, manifestation and experience what it's like being a mermaid, right? Yeah. But I just wanted to know if anybody else had any questions for Karen. You can raise your hand, or you can type your question in the chat. And if you're on the phone, it's *6 to unmute, because I can't unmute anybody. So if you're on the phone and you want to ask a question, you can hit *6 if you're on the phone, or you can raise your hand, or you can type your question in the chat. Right. So I wanted to ask you, Karen, about your specific experiences with the mermaids. How have they helped you, assisted you in your life? Well, it was through this very, very challenging emotional time that I had about 2 years ago. That was the strongest connection, where they were really, really helping me, because I was in a space. I mean, anybody that knows me knows, oh, Karen, she's really positive. She's always got a smile on her face. She's really upbeat. Well, I was the opposite. I went into a space where it was the opposite of, it was like, it was alien to me how I was feeling because of what was going on in my life. It put me in a very emotional space. And the mermaids, as I mentioned earlier, came in to help me to deal with those emotions that I was feeling, and help me to transform them into just a better feeling, a better vibration, if you like, and allowing me to deal with what was going on, and showing me ways to navigate through it, to swim through it, to flow through it, to go with the flow of what was happening, instead of resisting, which is what many of us do, especially I'm a Taurian, so I don't like change.
Mm-hmm.
and even people that aren't Taurian often don't like change. Change is a bit uncomfortable, isn't it? And especially for me. So they helped me to surrender more to what was going on and to accept what was going on, and to flow with it, and to ultimately become empowered by it. And it's really interesting because as I was creating the deck, it literally just was like a download. It came through very, very quickly, and I wrote it, and I submitted it, and I didn't hear anything for a few weeks, and I became a bit anxious. Oh, was it good enough? I couldn't even remember what came through. And they said it was great, it was really deep, and they loved it. And then it obviously became the deck. But now when I work with the cards and I read back, and I know the space I was in personally when I wrote the deck, and how the mermaids were helping me through the creation of that deck and giving me hope and allowing me to be ultimately in a space of acceptance of what was going on. And that is the greatest help that they have, that's the greatest help that's come from them for me on a personal level, definitely.
Awesome, good. So I know we're going to do the process, but before we do the meditation, do you want to just show us a little bit about the deck, a few of the cards in the deck, and show us a little bit about what types of messages are there?
Yeah, I can do. Now, this deck, it's different from my fairy deck in the sense that, first of all, the artist that I worked with is called Linda Olson. I'm hoping it's not too, I don't know how to, that's too, that, yeah, I don't know how, if you can see it, okay.
Yeah.
But so she's the artist, and these cards have a single word. So for example, this is a card of contemplation. And I'll just pick out a few. I'll just do that. We've got ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
There you'll notice the feeling of the imagery as well. It's very fluid. It feels like it's moving. Patience, mermaid of patience. Mm-hmm. Support. And also what I love about this deck as well, obviously I love it because I created it, but when I was working with the artist, I just wanted everyone to feel represented within this deck. So it's multicultural, and we've got mermen, mm-hmm. men, women, and all shapes, ages and sizes. So it's really representative, and I really wanted that people to be able to relate to it. And they all have a single word on the card. That's acceptance.
Nice, yeah.
And that's
nice.
You know, it's and the way there are deeper meanings in the guidebook. So if you normally, a lot of people will work with a deck and they just see the word, and that will trigger mm-hmm. an intuitive knowing of what that means to you or the person that you're reading for. So if you see the word acceptance and you know it's for yourself, you'll see how that relates, or perhaps it relates to somebody that you're doing the reading for. Absolutely. And if you want to go into a deeper meaning, then as I said, it's in the guidebook. And this is the Mermaid of Love.
So I'm going to put you on the spot. So can you give me a short, quick reading from the Mermaid Deck? What do I need to know today?
I will pull a card for you now. Okay, let's.
I don't know if we were planning to do that, but I thought, why not?
Well, I go with the flow, Alara.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought it might happen, but I wasn't, planning. I just thought we'll see what happens. So
I'm surprised nobody asked. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna ask. Usually people ask, like, can I get a reading? Can I get a message? Can I get something? It's like, okay.
Yeah, well, I normally would do, I would be happy to do that, and I do that very often. I think people are being very polite, and which is really lovely.
And also because I have also trained my audience not to ask can you give me a general reading? I always say you have to have a specific question, but I, for myself, was like, just whatever. I just want you, I just wanted people to get a feel for how you do readings.
Yeah, and I also do like, I don't mind doing general readings, and I think especially in an open space like this, sometimes things can come up and you might think, well, I don't want everybody to hear that. I would never go into that type of detail anyway in an open space, but it would be more general. And it is interesting with these cards because by comparison, when I work with my fairy oracle deck, the cards fly out and these ones tend to stick, or they kind of, sometimes they fly out like flying fish. So we've got dreaming, Mermaid of Dreaming, which is really lovely, and that can relate to obviously your sleeping time when you're dreaming in your sleep, but also your waking dreams, your daydreaming, your visions, what you want to manifest in the world as well, and the power of your dreams, the power of our dreams, and to really connect into this. And also she's holding a conch shell in her hands, and a conch shell is another way, or any type of shell that you can connect to the ocean, because they say, and it is true, if you hold a shell up to your ear, you can hear the sea. So it's a direct link, and it really makes sense as well, doesn't it? If you think, well, the shells ultimately come from the sea, so that's a direct physical link. So that's something that you could put in your mermaid bath too. But coming back to the dreaming, so it just says that, I mean, you are a dreamer, you're a dreamer and you manifest your dreams. So that's kind of confirmation of that as well.
Absolutely. But it's interesting. I was talking to somebody today, and she was saying to me, she's like, why are you putting your life on hold? Why are you waiting for, to make your dreams come true? Like, what are you waiting for? It's like, well, I just want to get everything ready. Well, I'm just waiting for blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh yeah, because I haven't been dreaming. It's like, I haven't been focusing on my dreams because I'm like waiting for Robert to get home. And then after that, we'll see what we're going to do. And after that, blah, blah, blah. Right. So it's really interesting that we were talking about that earlier. And then you, pulled that card for me. It makes total sense.
But also part of your dream is for Robert to come home.
Yes.
So it's not a separate from, and the dreams don't have to be these kind of grand gestures, they can be the little things as well, or the things that are really important to our hearts. Dreaming happens on so many levels, and Absolutely. And sometimes that mermaid can say, are you dreaming too much? Are you daydreaming too much when you should be focusing on other stuff? But I don't feel that that's the case with you. No. But sometimes it happens to all of us sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. No, that was great. Wow, thank you. So now, of course, people are asking for readings. So
okay. So
let's see what we got.
Do you want to call out the name, Alara? And if there's a specific question, I'll do my best. I won't answer any questions about health. And
most of them are general. So general. So Kimberly would love a mermaid card reading.
Sorry, I didn't hear the name. Say that.
Kimberly.
Okay, Kimberly. Oh, hi. Okay, let's get a card for you. Right. And the way I work with the cards is because they're my cards and I'm used to them. I shuffle them and then just see what cards come out, and 2 cards have come out for you. And we've got recognition and move forward. So the recognition card, it can be about recognition on a grand scale, but it usually relates to recognition within your locality. So it could be a community thing, or you could be studying and receive some kind of certification or acknowledgement, community work, something that you're doing that will receive recognition. And if you haven't already, then it could come in that way. And the move forward card just tells me that whatever the whatever it is that you're working, I feel like you're working on something. You've got some little plan going on, something that you're working on, and rather than wait for the perfect time, because there will never be a perfect time, now is the perfect time. Always. We're never ready. We think we'll wait till we're ready. I'm going to wait till I'm ready, and then I'm going to do it. Then I'm going to prepare all this and do this, and then I'll do it. But we're never ready. I've not ever met anybody who ever fully feels ready. And it is a matter of just moving forward. Just move forward with what it is that you're planning or focusing on. Just go for it. And I feel like it's from doing that the recognition will come from that, taking that action. It's almost coming in as a reward and acknowledgement of what you're doing or what you will be doing. And so I would say just go for it, but obviously it has to be your choice. Don't say, well, I did it and Karen told me. It's like, no. You have to, if it feels right for you, then that is what the message is coming through for you. So I hope that makes sense to you.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Does that resonate with you, Kimberly?
Yes, very much so.
Good.
Thank you.
That's good.
Good, thank you.
Yay.
All right, Sherry, do you want to unmute yourself?
Hi, I would love the reading.
Sherry, is that
Yeah.
Sherry?
Mhm.
I can't see you, Sherry, but I can hear you. So
Yeah, she doesn't have her video, she just has her audio on.
okay. So I've got the mermaid has come out and she is saying turn away. Now this can be turning away from a situation that is not currently serving your highest good. It doesn't mean a permanent turning away, although it could. I don't feel like it does. I feel like it's like a temporary turning away so you can gather yourself, get yourself together, and then maybe go back to the situation or the circumstance that you need to it's just like taking time out. That's what I'm feeling, like needing to take time out from whatever's going on for you. And if it isn't for you, then it's somebody around you within your vicinity, within your family perhaps. But it does feel like it's you. That's what I'm getting. And turning away temporarily, I feel, and regrouping, just taking some time for you, because the situation that I feel that you could turn away from is, it's not charging you up. That's what it feels like it's not giving you, it's kind of taking more energy than it's giving you. That's what I'm feeling. And so to turn away from that for a time, it could be a day, it could be half a day, it could be a week, you'll know, you've got to follow your own intuition on this, but that's what I'm feeling with this energy, and I hope that you can take it.
It makes total sense, and I so needed that message, so thank you so very much.
Awesome.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Yeah,
Really
makes
glad.
total sense. Yes.
Oh, good. That's good, because I just give what I get. Obviously the card dictates what flows, and then I just let it flow, and sometimes I say things and I'm thinking, well, I hope that's true. I just don't know. I just give it, and then I always say, if it resonates, take it, and if it doesn't, don't. I'm not perfect. I'll just give what I get, and hopefully, today it always seems to work, which is really nice.
Yeah, good. Thank you, Sherry.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Pleasure.
All right, so Letty, you would like a reading.
How'd you say that?
Letty, L-E-T-T-Y.
Letty.
Hi, are you there,
Hi,
Letty?
Laura. Hi, Karen. Yes, it's me,
Hi.
Letty.
Oh, hello.
Somebody's got a phone ringing somewhere.
When I hear a phone, I won't forget your reading, Letty. I've just done this workshop that is kind of reprogramming, but not in a heavy way. It's just like taking you out from the negative thought patterns that we can have. And so when noises happen, you hear a noise and it's like, oh, and it just immediately makes you annoyed for why does that happen? And so what we did during this workshop was turn that around to getting excited. So when I heard that phone, I just started wanting to dance to it. And there's somebody started mowing their lawn the other morning really early, and usually I'd be like, oh, why'd you have to do that? But I heard it and I thought, I just got excited, and it's like, this is good, I like this. It's like just being excited about everything.
Excited about life, yeah.
Finding the blessing in everything.
Yeah.
Especially things that we get annoyed about automatically for no reason. If we get annoyed automatically, why can't we be excited automatically? It feels good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, it's just a little thing, but I've been really, well, I haven't been putting it into practice. I think I've just been reprogrammed to do it now. We'll see if I can maintain it. I hope so. It's fun. Right, a message for Letty. Let's see what we've got. Discernment. So it feels like there is a choice or choices either currently or coming in quite soon, and you will need to use your discernment as to which is the right choice for you, or the right path, or the right decision. It doesn't have to be a major decision, although it could be. But using discernment, we can do this by just really tuning into your gut instinct. Like usually, the first thing that you think is usually the correct thing. And then a few seconds after that, the mind comes in, and then the mind will colour it and say, oh, and make excuses. And then that's just how the mind works. Not just for you, for everybody, that, you know, and it's about being aware of that. And with the discernment, and this, I'm feeling like there's a decisions card in this deck as well, and I'm feeling like it is decisions, but it is using your discernment within those decisions. And a way that you can do that is by, if you find yourself having some kind of a choice or choices, to play out those scenarios in your mind as if you were watching them on a TV screen, and detach emotionally from them while you're letting it play out, so you can really impartially observe, well, if I do that, then that could happen. And look at, you can be on the TV screen, but it's almost like you're playing a part. So when you can get that level of detachment during this process, you are in a more kind of impartial, calmer place to make any decisions with discernment. So it will help you to see the reality of a situation rather than a side of a situation. Maybe you might have rose tinted glasses on about something, or, you know, you don't want to see it as it is, or as, you know, it could be like that. I hope this makes sense for you. Does it make sense?
Yes, it does.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I'm really glad, because that was going off in that feels like that could go really deep, like this reading. So yeah, so if you can try, and normally the mermaids are all about emotions and feelings and letting it all flow, which is important, but just for the purpose of this particular situation and exercise, you detach from the emotional and look at the reality of it without the emotions coloring it, and then you'll be better equipped to make any decisions with discernment.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Good. Thank you, Letty. Yep. And so I just want to say too, really quickly, that all of these messages, you know, are for anybody. Like if you resonate, like if there's something happening in your life where you need to make a decision, that card, that discernment card, you know, gave you a lot of information. So please be willing to take, you know, the wisdom and the energy from the other questions as well. I'm not going to get to everybody. That's, you know, let's be real. Okay. Let's be realistic. We still want to do a process of meditation to connect with the mermaids, so we're not going to get to everybody. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Karen.
it's a really good point that you make, Alara, because if you're hearing it and it resonates, then take it, because you're here for a reason and you're hearing it for a reason. And spirit and mermaids and whoever wants to come through will come through to you, whether it's your name that I'm talking to or not. And that is totally right. That's I usually say that before I do readings, so I'm glad that you brought that up, Alara. It's really really important point. So have we got another one? Or
Yep, Sarita. Sarita. Yeah.
Sarita. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, where are you?
Hi, Karen. Hi, Alana.
Nice picture.
I'm in the dark room. That's why I just like.
Yeah. No worries. That's all fine.
Can you see me?
Yeah. Yes. There you are. Yep.
Okay. Let's see. A message for Sarita.
You still on vacation, Sarita?
Yes, I'm still on vacation. It snowed this morning. You see that I'm puffy now today.
Yep.
Well, you've got Merman. The
Merman.
of
Gentle.
gentleness.
Oh.
And he comes in with a very definite energy. So you look at him and he's all muscly and he's big, but he's coming in with a gentle energy. And you might not associate that with him. If you looked at him, you would say, well, that's not gentleness. But what it's saying is that there is a great power in gentleness. And if there's a situation that is going on for you, and it might be a little bit frustrating, and sometimes we just want to use our brute force, we want to use our muscle, we want to use our strength to go in there and just almost going in on the attack almost. And all that's going to do is create somebody to be defensive. And this energy is coming in with this merman to say that if you just go in with a gentle approach, it will just completely change the dynamics of the situation in an unexpected way. This could also apply to somebody around you who is coming in with a bit of, when I say brute force, I don't mean being violent or anything like that, but just using that kind of heavy,
more like aggressive stance.
Rather than gentle. And so there is a great strength in gentleness. So if your response is, if you match that energy, then it's just going to end up like an explosion. But if you change your stance to one of gentleness, then it can diffuse a situation that might have got a bit explosive. And that's what I'm getting with this. So employ gentleness. There is great strength, in fact greater strength in gentleness than in brawn, than in because you're containing, you're tapping into a divine source then when you come from a place of gentleness, and it can really literally diffuse situations that you might think, well, hey, how can that happen? You don't need to go in with a weapon, or I don't mean an actual weapon, I just mean symbolically. So I hope that makes sense to you.
Yes, it makes sense. You are right on. And but the question is, how long do I have to be so gentle all the time?
How long do you have to be gentle for, did you say?
Yes, right.
Right, I'll say one thing. And obviously we're in an open space here, so I'm not going to go too deep. But what I will say, and this applies to anybody that finds themselves in a situation where you are being challenged in a physical way, in an aggressive way, do not tolerate any form of abuse of your personal space. All right? Being gentle in general is forever, actually. it doesn't mean that you're not going to be passionate or sometimes get fired up and excited. You know, it isn't boring. Being gentle isn't boring. It's kind of like going with the flow of the energies. But if anybody ever feels that they're in danger, then you don't confront that energy with a gentleness. Withdraw and get yourself out of that situation.
Can I just add too, like, gentleness does not mean being a doormat, you know?
Yes.
It does not mean that at all. So there is a time for, you know, standing in your power and saying, no, this does not work for me. But gentleness, I mean, Sarita is very gentle anyways, you know, but gentleness is like, you know, going with the flow to a point. You know, I will go, you know, with the flow to a point, and when I get to that point where it's like, nope, I'm done, you know, then I'll put my foot down and say, no, this does not work for me anymore. So we all have to have our limits, our boundaries, whatever. But obviously, yes, I don't think you're in a unsafe situation. But if you were in an unsafe situation, there is no more time for gentleness. It's time to walk out. Just for everybody. You don't deserve that. There's nothing worthy, and there's nothing noble about staying in that type of relationship or situation.
Yeah. And it can be hard. And so you know, if anybody finds themselves in that situation, then always reach out for help. There is no shame in asking for help when you're in that situation. I've been in that situation, you know, before my children were born. We're going back over 30 years.
Me too.
And I've been in that exact situation, and it can be hard. It is hard. It's challenging because your confidence and everything goes, and you don't feel like you can do it, but you find this inner strength. And you are able to do these things. Yeah, definitely.
So does that help, Sarita?
That helped. And the other thing is because when one time I got the hypnosis, and what I see myself was a Tarzan, you know, like in the forest.
Yeah, Tarzan.
And then when the Tarzan go into the ocean, turn to be a mermaid, but when it come back to be a Tarzan. And I'm just like, I don't know how I mix and match, but to me, I felt very connect with, you know, with both of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
With mermaid. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mermaids are very strong as well. Mermaids are able to swim against the tide as well as with the tide. They can go with the flow, but they're strong enough to flow against the tide. They don't get kind of blown around like a feather in the wind. They can choose their direction. And did you say Tarzan?
Yeah.
From the jungle?
Yeah.
Okay, so that Tarzan energy is a very powerful natural energy. When you combine that with the mermaid energy, then that is just that's what your kind of spiritual resources that you've got within you. If that's the energy that is coming to you and you're picking up on that, you have that within you. You can't recognize anything externally that isn't already within you. And I feel like there's a confidence issue going on, and when you get your confidence, you're going to be unstoppable. You're going to have very, very clear, strong boundaries, and you can do that with gentleness, but firmness and love, and assertiveness
and boundaries.
Loving. You can say no with love and gentleness, and you can mean it, and people will know that.
Absolutely.
You got it in you.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Sarita.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, one more. We're going to go to oh my goodness. Sorry, one second. Diane said something about, Diane said, oh, I would love a relationship card reading, please.
Okay, let's see, a relationship card reading for
Where are you, Diane? Speak up.
Yeah.
Ah, there you are. Yeah.
Hi, trust.
Trust. Yeah.
That makes sense, Diane?
Yep.
And the trust it's not just about you trusting the other person. It's about trusting yourself to do the right thing. And I'm feeling just like there's so much going on in here with regards to this situation. of what it could be, of what it is, of what it might be, of what it was, all these what ifs and whys and wherefores, and just so many. And then in the middle of all of those is a still place within you. And I'm getting such an amazing feeling coming through with that. And that is where your true trust is. It's like, it's at your essence to trust in life. And it's not to trust that they won't do something, or it's not that type of a trust. It's like a trust in life, in your path, in the universe, trusting that, that the universe has your back. So whatever unfolds, trust in that process, but also always connecting to your gut instinct with any situation. So don't dismiss things if there's a strong gut instinct, but try and differentiate between what is coming from your instinct, your intuition, and what is going on in your mind. Because and I'm talking from experience as well, so I'm not, you know, I can feel kind of where you're at a little bit. And really it is about getting the mind out of the way, because the mind can make mountains out of molehills, can make situations real that aren't real. For it, I'll just give a little example that may or may not be relevant to you. It might be relevant to someone else. Like my ex-partner didn't say goodnight to me one night, and I started freaking out. You know, he was with his parents, and I was like, what's happened? And then at 2 o'clock in the morning, he messaged me and said, oh, sorry, I was meditating and I fell asleep. But in my mind, I'd created this whole drama about what had happened, and it was a waste of my energy because I didn't trust. So it is just, if you can find that trust within yourself, it gives you a lot more self-confidence, which will enable you to, it just won't happen when you get to that space. I feel like it's really connected to self-confidence and a bit of self-worth as well.
Yeah.
Knowing your self-worth.
Yeah.
You are equal. We are all equal. There is no one who is more equal than anybody else on this whole planet, whether we've got or we haven't got, material or not material. It doesn't matter. We've all come in the same way. We're all going out the same way. We're all equal. And I think you need to really, really embody that and know that, because it's the truth.
Yeah.
And trust. Yeah. That got a bit firm, didn't it? I'm sorry. I felt like I was talking to myself, actually. I hope that resonated for you.
I needed that pep talk.
Did you? Oh, good. I don't normally, I trust. Everything that I do is with love. So, and if I ever say anything that you don't like, or anybody, just say, Karen, stop it. You know, you can tell me not to. But I'm glad that that resonated for you.
Can I tell you something?
Yes.
That your uncle, you've reincarnated. That was your past life.
So she's saying that Walter de la Mare was you in the past.
Oh my whole body is tingling. That makes so much sense.
I'm tingling too. So yeah, there's truth there. Yeah,
it really does. That's why I know his poetry so intimately. And because my former partner and I, we did music together, and we did a whole album dedicated to Walter de la Mare and put some of his poetry to music. And it's like he painted with words, and I could see the sounds of the music of what he was writing. It sounds a bit bonkers, but that makes beautiful sense. Wow. Yeah, that is, thank you so much. That's like, why didn't I think of that? Thank you so much. What a gift.
Thank
you.
Yeah,
awesome. Thank you, Diane. That's great.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, so I want to take a moment first and talk about the package. And for those of you, for those, whatever, in the US, I had to put both prices down because otherwise you'd be all confused. Like, I don't know what, the pounds is kind of thing. Anyways, the the package is at alara.at/show/Karen3. And I just want to quickly talk about it a little bit. So package A is the Mermaids Oracle deck, which is signed by Karen, plus that bonus gift. And it's $13.87 US if you use the code ALARA5. If you don't use the code ALARA5, it's going to be whatever the full price is, okay?
Yeah.
And then package B is a private 30-minute session or a 50-minute session.
It's 60 minutes actually, 30
Yeah.
or 60.
Yeah, because there's this extra 10 minutes.
On top, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so yeah, that's okay. So that's $27.77 or $55.54 if you use the code ALARA10. Otherwise, it's going to be whatever the full price is. Okay. So all right. So Karen, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah. So with the readings, they are 30 minutes and 60 minutes, but if you use the code, as Alara said, it's Alara10, then you will get an extra 10 minutes on top of that reading. And also I will say, if I'm in the middle of telling you something really important, I'm not going to say, right, your time's up, that's it. I don't do that. Like, I'm going to share what comes through. So I'm not rigid on those times, but you will definitely get the extra 10 minutes on top of the reading. And with the Oracle cards, I put in a little bonus, and so a little gift bag with the cards as well as signing them. So you'll get the energy of my local ocean, and you never know what little things, little mermaid treasures you're going to find in there as well. And it's just personal, and I really enjoy doing those. So it just makes it, you can obviously get them in other places, but I think some people just like to have that personal connection, and I do put love into them when I send them.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you. So again, those two packages, if you want to call them that, are available at alara.at/show/Karen3. Please use the codes ALARA5 for the Oracle deck and ALARA10 for the readings. Okay. And don't message me saying I forgot to use the code. I can't help you. It's going through Karen's shopping cart. It's not going through mine, so it's nothing I can do. So use the code. Okay. All right. So Karen, what we've all been waiting for now is the guided meditation to experience what it's like being a mermaid, and at the same time doing some little manifestation magic.
Yeah, I'll put it all into one, shall I? And roughly, where are we time-wise? The time's just flying away, isn't it?
I know, right?
How long roughly would you like this to be for? As long as it takes.
Yeah, not an hour.
Yeah, no, it won't be an hour. And if yeah, I mean, just start coughing or doing something if I go on, but I'm normally quite okay with it, the timing. So if everybody would like to experience this, then before we start, if you get yourself in a comfortable position, either you don't have to sit up in the lotus position, just sit however you feel comfortable. You can lie down if you like, you can I will say, but don't fall asleep, but that never works, because I listen to a meditation every night and halfway through the person doing it says, now don't fall asleep, and I'm like, that's my cue to go to sleep. But I always fall asleep. But if you fall asleep, you'll have mermaid dreams, and it's fine, and you can always listen to the replay so you can remember it, but it's nice if you don't. Nice if somebody's awake. So yeah, get yourself in a comfortable position, and hopefully somewhere where you won't be disturbed. If you've got a phone, then maybe turn the phone off so it doesn't ring or beep or wait, disturb the energy. And take a few moments just to center yourself. And before we start, this will be a very light-hearted, joyful experience. Everything that I do is always from the light and for the highest good of all. And if at any point you feel like you don't wish to proceed, then just open your eyes. It's fine. But hopefully you will want to enjoy this experience. So, just gonna make a little bell noise. And I'll do that sound at the end as well to help us come back. So if you've got any cares or concerns, then just breathe them out in a big sigh now. And then as you breathe in love, light, and joy. And then breathing out any cares or concerns, any worries, anything that's been on your mind, just let it go, breathe it out. And then again, breathe in love, light, and joy. And breathing out any cares or concerns of your day. And again, breathing in love and light, and breathing out love and light. You are safe, protected, and loved at all times. You find yourself on a beautiful beach. The sand is white and fine and soft, and the sun is gently shining, and the sand is warm beneath your feet. You can feel the sand going through your toes as you walk slowly along the beach, and you can hear the waves coming in and going out. It's very peaceful. You're the only person on the beach. It's your private meditation island, your sanctuary, a place where you can fully relax and experience the beauty of nature and also the beauty of your own self without any external influences. The sea is turquoise and green, and it's calm and gently lapping into the shore, and you feel drawn to walk towards the shore. So you slowly walk towards the water's edge, taking your time, enjoying that beautiful sunshine as it's beaming on you, giving you beautiful life energy. It's not too hot, but it's warm enough to feel comfortable. It's a very, very gentle breeze, but it's a warm breeze and it's beautiful and calming. Eventually you come to the water's edge, and your bare feet, you have bare feet, and you can feel the waves coming in and almost tickling your toes. And the water is warm, and the sound of the sea is very soothing and calming, and you feel very relaxed. And the waves are gently lapping around your ankles, and you can feel yourself sinking a little bit into the wet sand, not too much, but you're going down into the sand up to your ankles. And you feel very grounded and secure and safe and loved. And the water keeps coming in and flowing out, flowing in and flowing out. And then you can hear a sound. It's like a tinkling kind of a sound. And you look down and you can see a bottle, a glass bottle, a small one with a cork inside. Curious, you think. And it washes up next to your feet. And then you look to the other side of you, and there's a pen and a tiny piece of parchment paper. This gets you thinking, And then the idea pops into your head that you can put your message in the bottle. So take a few moments and think about what it is that you would like to manifest in your life. Just one or two things. You can always come back and do this again. But just for now, think of one or two things that you'd like to do, that you'd like to manifest. What would you like to see in your world? And then pick up the parchment and the pen, and just, you can write a word or paint a little picture or a sentence, or do whatever feels right to represent this dream, what it is that you wish to manifest in this earthly realm. And take a few moments to do this. The sun's still gently beaming on you, and the waves are still gently lapping around your feet. You feel grounded in the sand. You feel safe, secure, and loved. And you feel excited about the potential of manifesting your reality, your dreams into this reality. When you've finished writing, you put the pen down and you take the little parchment and you roll it up into a tiny scroll. And then you take the bottle that is by your feet, you take out the cork and you put your wish, what it is that you wish to manifest, inside the bottle and place the cork in the bottle. Then you hold the bottle to your heart and you say, either in your mind or out loud, mermaids, please hear me. Mermaids, please help me to manifest this wish that is from my heart and for the highest good of all beings, including myself. This or something better. And then you can hear a splashing sound, and the sea becomes a little bit more wilder, and there's something going on in front of you and you can't quite work it out, but you're still holding this bottle with your wish to your heart. You feel calm but curious, and then you see a trident coming up from the sea in front of you, and King Neptune appears before you, the king of the ocean. And you're a little bit shocked to see him. You didn't expect to see him. And he says, "You are welcome here. Why are you here?" And you say, "You have a wish and you would like to give it to the mermaids." And he says, "Your wish is my command." And he moves aside, and in the distance you can see lots of mermaids frolicking in the distance. There are dolphins there too, out at sea. He gestures for you to venture into the sea, telling you that you are safe, protected, and loved at all times. Still holding your bottle, but this time it's in your hands down by your side. You start to wade through the sea, and it feels natural, it feels comfortable. And you go up to your knees, and the water is still calm and swirling around. And then you go up to the top of your legs. And eventually it's just your head on top of the water, and you're deeper into the water and you're closer to the mermaids, and they're waving to you, saying, come, come, come play with us, come join us. You go to take another step forward, and then you see that you don't have feet anymore. You've suddenly developed a tail, but it's okay. Your feet will come back when you come out of the water. But now you are in your mermaid essence, your mermaid body. And it feels good. It feels natural. And you swim towards the mermaids who have formed a ring. You've heard of a fairy ring. Well, this is a mermaid ring. And as you get closer, the ring opens and they hold out their hands to you on either side, but you hold up your bottle and say, but this is my wish. This is what I wish to manifest. And then one mermaid steps forward and says, please give me your wish and I will help you to manifest this. You know that you can trust her. So you hand over the bottle and she takes out her mermaid purse and places it in there. And she says to you, thank you for entrusting me with your wish. I will do all I can do, along with the other mermaids and spirits of the sea, to help your wish come to be for the highest good of all. And then they hold out their hands and you are now part of this mermaid ring. And they're just floating in the sea, and so are you. And you're feeling what it feels like to be a mermaid, to feel that energy of the sea, and to feel so safe and comfortable in this environment. Whether you can swim or not, it doesn't matter. In this moment, you can. The energy is very powerful and very different to what you thought it might be. You can feel the sea gently undulating around you, and you're hovering on the surface, and you can feel your tail swishing around beneath you, and you're playing with the tail. It's like a new experience, something joyful and fun. And as you meet the eyes of the other mermaids, you feel a sense of family. You feel a sense of safety and joy, and you feel free. And they say to you, thank you for being with us now. Thank you for believing in us. Thank you for entrusting us. And you can hardly speak because the emotions are so powerful in a beautiful way. But you surrender to this energy. And then one mermaid catches your eye out of all of the mermaids. And she, for a moment, breaks the circle and swims up in front of you. And she hands you a pearl. And she says, this pearl of wisdom is for you to take back into the human realms, into your human lands. This pearl of wisdom will help you to make good decisions in your life. And it will always be with you as long as you want it. You have access to this wisdom. This pearl of wisdom contains all of the wisdom of the ocean, all the mermaid wisdom. And you will have access to this at any time you wish, only to be used for good, for the highest good of all. You graciously and gratefully receive the pearl of wisdom. And the mermaids say, it's time for you to go back to your land now, to the human realm, to the beach, to the shore. And the mermaid that gave you the pearl of wisdom takes your hand. You bid farewell to the other mermaids, but this particular mermaid leads you safely back to the shore. You're there in a flash, but it's a beautiful swim with this mermaid. You feel so at ease. You've made a new friend. You've made this beautiful new connection. And so you find yourself back on the shore, and she's still there smiling and so happy to connect with you. And she says, can I ask you a favor, please? And you say, of course. What is it? And she says, will you do one thing, just one thing in your life that will help the oceans? And you say, yes, of course I will. I'm happy to do this. And then she says, thank you so much. I will see you again. And then she leaps out of the sea like a big dolphin energy and then swims back out to the other mermaids. And you find yourself back on the shore thinking, wow, what just happened? And you can feel your feet again. And they're still in the sunken sand, just up to your ankles, and the water's gently lashing. And you pick your feet out of the sand and start wriggling your sandy toes because they're full of sand. And then you step back and you wriggle your fingers and you start to come back into your body, knowing that you can always come back to this place whenever you wish. You have been welcomed now, and King Neptune of the sea is the guardian of the whole sea, and he has granted you permission. And whenever you venture to the sea, we always need his permission. And now he's granted this. This is your domain also. So start to move your feet and your fingers and start to come back into your body. And then when you feel ready, open your eyes. And then while you're in this space, think of one thing that you can do on a practical level to help the ocean, whether that's swapping out your washing laundry liquid or your dishwashing thing. You know, try and think of one thing that you can do that will be of benefit to the oceans. Your lavatory cleaner, you know, that, change it for a more environmental brand. There are so many out there now. We can just do one thing. If each of us just did one thing, that would make a huge difference. And that's also a way of physically showing our gratitude and appreciation for the mermaids, because if they're going to help us manifest our wishes, then it's good to have an energetic exchange, an energy exchange. And this applies to all levels, not just working with mermaids. But so yeah, think of one thing while you're in this space, and it doesn't have to be a huge thing, but just a little gesture will really, really make a difference.
Awesome. That was, oh my goodness, that was beautiful. That was so lovely.
Oh, thank you.
I really enjoyed that.
Oh, good. Thank you. I have to stop because I often want to just go off as well. And I think, well, I can't. I have to, I'm half in and half out. Like,
yeah. No, that was great. It was so nice. Oh my goodness, we definitely want to do that again.
Yay.
So much fun. You know, I love the ocean. So it's like, oh my God, I loved it. It was so relaxing, so calming. Just, yeah, absolutely beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah, nice to connect. And yeah, you could feel the tail, you know, like you could sense it, you know, when you were in the water. Yeah, absolutely.
Because I know sometimes, you know, people have, I mean, I'm not a great swimmer, actually. I can swim a little bit, but I just have such a pull to the ocean. I normally paddle, that's my limit. Sometimes I'll go in a bit deeper. But in this space, that meditative space, it feels very safe.
Yeah.
And it's, I think it's very important to feel safe in that space and just experience it, because it is quite freeing, isn't it, to feel that tail and the freedom of movement and being able to surrender to that, the ocean, and go with the flow. It's just so lovely.
Yeah, so how was it for all of you folks? You know, what did you experience and what was your wish?
Oh, well, I always say with wishes, you don't have
maybe don't tell us a wish.
Yeah, and unless you really want to, but I feel like with things that you want to manifest, to hold that energy, it keeps it more kind of potent. If you're able to do that, but you know, it's up to everybody individually, obviously. But yeah, I mean, there are a few comments in the chat saying it's very relaxing, and did anyone experience anything unusual? Letty, yeah, that's so good. Oh, it's
nice.
lovely. Yeah, feeling, yeah, it is interesting, isn't it? As soon as our tail appears, we naturally know what to do.
Yeah.
Even if we're not Olympian swimmers, I don't think any of us are anyway, or even, you know, I can't even swim a whip, but as soon as I'm in that space with a tail, I know what to do instinctively. And I think because we did all start off with little tails.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
so it's quite
the sea was with blue rainbow colors. Nice. It felt like home. I didn't want to come back. I know, right? I didn't want to come back either. I just want to stay there and just enjoy the warmth and the ocean water, and just, you know, the dolphins and everybody else. It's like, oh, so nice. Let's just play.
Wow.
Yeah.
Diane, yeah, I love it. Oh, great. It's so lovely seeing the I love working like this, actually. It's a really nice, aren't we? What a blessing to have this, you know, we're all at different places in the world, and yet we're able to be here in real time and experience what we've just experienced together. I just think that's just a miracle.
Yeah, it's lovely. Absolutely. I totally agree. That's why I love doing these shows so much, and my own group calls. I just like, I just love it. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's so nice. I don't remember, did we do it like, we didn't do it, there wasn't Zoom in 2018, was there? Or we didn't?
Oh, no, probably not. Maybe not. No.
How we did it, if it was Skype or...
It was instant teleseminar, must have been. I don't remember, it was so long ago. I mean, I know I was doing instant teleseminar, so, but I don't know. I remember video. But...
we got a little friend here. Hey.
Oh, hey. Beautiful. Nice.
Oh, it's nice.
Oh, thank you. My first meditation live with Karen. Good.
What's that? Sorry?
This was her first meditation live with you.
Oh.
That's good. Awesome. Yeah, we'll have to have Karen come back for sure.
Oh, I would love to come back. So I've pulled the truth card. I thought I'd pull a card for all of us, a collective card, and it's the Mermaid of Truth, and it's about the reality, the truth of who you are, actually. And when we can connect to this true part of ourselves, it's really quite liberating and freeing, and it's a very, very empowering thing as well.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes we deny aspects of ourselves, And when we can fully embrace ourselves, because we always think, oh, well, this could be different, that could be different, you know, whatever it is. But when we fully embrace and accept the truth of who we are, then we shine even brighter. We glow, and we help other people to shine brighter too when we stand in our own truth. Yeah,
absolutely. Beautiful last message to the whole group. It's always about, you know, be in your truth, you know, be more of who you truly are. That's my whole thing. Is like that's why these shows and everything I do, it's like so that you can be more of who you truly are and connect to that truth of who you are and let that shine, you know. So absolutely. I was just going to say really quickly, so for the reading, it can be either the mermaid deck or the fairy deck, right?
Right. I'm not sure. I think the reading, it can be the mermaid or fairies. The offer on the cards is just set up for the mermaids, because that's just what we're doing today. But the reading can be anything. It can be, and very often people will start off saying they want a particular deck, but then as the reading progresses, it can very often change, or I'll feel instinctively to work with a particular deck. It just depends how it all flows. But it's a kind of fluid process.
Just go with the flow, be, you know, and just trust your knowing and trust your intuitive knowing, as you know, etc. That's what it's about, trusting. Awesome. Good.
Always.
Awesome. Karen, this was absolutely wonderful. This was just beautiful. I loved it, just like everybody else did. So thank you.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's such a pleasure. So nice. Oh, it really, really is my pleasure. And I knew people wouldn't want to come back. Like, I thought if I have the bell, then that kind of is a good symbolizing of the opening and closing, but people still don't want to open their eyes. I know that. And that's why I say you can go back there at any time. But also part of the gift is a meditation, mermaid meditation, isn't it? That I don't know if people have already got that or how that they get that, but so that's another thing that
it'll be on the gifts page. Absolutely. Good.
So you can listen to that as well. And
awesome. Thank you. Good. And so thank you everybody for all your questions as well. So we learned so much more about the mermaids. So thank you.
I hope you enjoyed it. And if you've just now, before we end, if you have a question that you haven't asked and you think, oh, that's a silly question, or the chances are that if you think it's a silly question, everybody else might have that question and also don't want to ask. So do feel free. We're in a safe space. There's no question that is too silly, and if it is, I don't know, it won't be silly. So don't leave this space with a question in your heart. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm happy to just answer if we've got time, just if there is any. And if
other than no readings, but just a question about the mermaids or about the experience, the meditation that we just did, or just, you know, anything like that, connecting to the mermaids, etc. If you have any other question about that, feel free to raise your hand or type your question in the chat, or
and also if I post every day pretty much on my Instagram page, which is @KarenKFairy. I don't think, can you read that? Is it back to front or not? Oh, because it looks back to front to me.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect. I was trying not to talk because then, you know,
from the little course that I did, we had these because we did it on Zoom, and that if you love something, you do that. I meant to put this up earlier. It's really sweet. So I love connecting, and if you do swim over to Instagram, then drop me a message and just say that you're here from Alara's session, and then I'll know where you're from. And I do like to talk and connect with people. I like to keep the bond and the friendship going. It's really lovely, and I'm so grateful, Alara, for you holding this space. You know, what an incredible service.
Absolutely, I love it. It's wonderful. Oh, there's a question. Is it normal that the sky and the water turn more darker when they join in, like when the mermaids join in?
I don't think it's normal or not normal. I think whatever you personally experience is a representation of what is going on for you. So very often what we perceive and experience within a meditation will be inner feeling reflected outwardly. So whatever you experience is normal. It's normal for you. There are definitely no rigid rules in this, especially when we're venturing into these realms of, you know, the visualization and these other realms. So the most important thing is that you always feel safe, you always feel protected, and you always feel okay, you know, that you feel good. And if you ever feel uncomfortable, then all you do is wriggle your hands, your fingers, your toes, and open your eyes. Yeah. And you can clap yourself awake. You know, you can just come out of it. So you should never, I mean, we get dark skies sometimes, that happens. It's a beautiful thing in nature. It doesn't have to be not good, you know. So like I said, anything that you experience, as long as you feel at peace within it, that is normal. Yeah. Okay, thanks. Right, I did. I felt good and secure. Awesome. That's the key. Yeah. That's the key point. Good. Awesome. Thank you. I'm glad you asked, because sometimes you know, we do have these niggling questions, and now you know it's all good. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Good. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Oh, Diane says I can't stop yawning. Did we get a healing? Of course, always. Well, yeah, it's very, very healing. It's healing. I was yawning too, sorry. Levels. Yeah. And so maybe, I mean, I don't know what time it is there. I don't know what time it is here. What is it? Well, it's a bit early. It's nearly, it's almost 11 here. Before 10 o'clock here in the evening. It's too early for me, but it's too early for me too, but I'm yawning too. So there was definitely energy shifting and moving, right? Yeah. So, yeah. And when you're yawning, it means that you're relaxed. You know, it means that you've had a deep, deep relaxation, which is healing. Yes. And if you feel like a little 40 winks, a little snooze, and you're able to do that, then I would say just do it. You know, you might go off and have some more mermaid dreams and just like, it's so healing. It really, really is. So that's beautiful. Unless you've got to go and do something really energetic, in which case, if you have, then really make sure you're grounded. Eat something that's going to help to ground you. Drink some water. Always drink water. That's another way of keeping in connection with the mermaids. And we are made up of, is it 70% water or something? A lot of water. So we need to keep hydrated as well. And that's just on a practical note. So yeah, but you can return there at any time. I definitely will, again, for sure. And don't forget the pearl of wisdom that you got. Oh yeah, yeah. That's yours now. Yeah, so tap into that and you know, receive the wisdom from it for sure. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Good. And thank you everyone for being so lovely and receptive and open to, you know, this experience. That means a lot to me as well, and I feel very welcomed here, and it's a beautiful gathering. Thank you. Diane said the pearl went straight to my third eye. Awesome. Yeah. Nice. Good. Yeah, that's really lovely. Really lovely. I love that. Awesome. Good. All right, everyone. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, take a look at the packages that are available for Karen. They're at alara.at/show/Karen3, right? The Mermaid Oracle deck is package A. Package B is a 30-minute or 60-minute personal reading with Karen, okay? So please do take a look at those as well. How much fun is that, right? And Karen's Instagram is at Karen K Ferry. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much, Karen. And thank you everybody again. So much fun. And until next time, may you continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, and radiant health. Sending you all much love and blessings always. Bye for now. Bye. Bye, everyone. And don't forget your manifestation. What did you write in the bottle? Okay. Call on your mermaids to, you know, help you with that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Bye.